All right, welcome everybody to one more podcast, one more episode of Care Nation. I am super duper excited to have one of the best gurus in social media world and one of the multimillionaire, a super entrepreneur. Join hands for one of the amazing personality, Evan Carmichael. Hi, Evan. How are you doing today?
Join hands. I like that. Is that how you introduce your sessions? Join hands.
Yes, join hands.
Oh, is it like this, or you like handshake? No, like this. Okay,
It's
I like
more
it.
like
Join hands. Join
namaste.
hands with Dev. I'm a fan.
All right, awesome, awesome. Hey, for people who don't know who Evan is, I'm sure you already know. He's moving like a rocket. His YouTube channel is skyrocketing. You're almost about to hit 1 million on YouTube, aren't you?
Yeah, we should hit it in November. Hopefully, the goal was end of the year. So as long as we do that, I'm happy.
Oh, fantastic! Super duper excited to see that. What a progress! Like I think we spoke once 3 or 4 months back, and I think that was about 800,000, and getting 200,000 in just 3 or 4 months. It's crazy. It just blows my mind away.
You got to do what you love and create hopefully insane value for your audience, and they'll be there for you.
I am sure you're doing that amazingly well. So Evan is a best-selling author of this amazing book. That's what we're going to review today. So people who are tuning in live, thank you so much, Care Nation, for joining in. We're going to talk about this one of the amazing book which has made a really big impact on my life, and this is the base of Care Nation. So I'm really excited to talk about this book, Evan, and share your amazing message. Before that, for people who are still trying to recall who Evan is a multi-millionaire who's based out of Canada, who's a self-made person who started multiple businesses. He reached a point where he was almost about to quit on his business, but somehow he managed to stick to his passion, and now he has got multiple businesses running. He's also coaching a lot of people on how to build their business around one word and other various techniques that he has. He is award-winning speaker. He is again a best-selling author for Your One Word. I can go on and on. So Evan, without further ado, why don't you tell us what inspired you, first of all, before we talk about what is Your One Word all about? First of all, what inspired you to write this book, amazing book?
So it started with me feeling like I could do more in my business. I was having success. I built a business, sold it. I started a second business. It was having success. I just felt like I was capable of more. I felt like I wasn't at my ceiling. There was more there. I wasn't in the dumps. It wasn't like my life sucked and I hit rock bottom and I needed to grow. I was having success. I knew that I had more potential. I didn't know how to reach it. And so I was frustrated with it. And so I started trying to figure out, okay, how do I figure out what that gap is going to be? And I think this is common for a lot of people. Like, you may be having some success, but you know that you have more potential inside you. And what I discovered was it all comes down to self-awareness. If you understand what you stand for as a human being, if you're a human being, you have core values, you have a single most important core value. If you can figure that out, then it just clears the path. It allows you to go really fast, really far, at a pace just much quicker than if you don't know what you stand for. And so in my journey, I started researching what successful entrepreneurs are doing. I stumbled upon this idea of one word for me. I didn't think about one word at the time. I was just trying to figure out what I stood for. I wrote down a whole bunch of different ideas on my page, and I didn't know which one felt right. And then, so my one word is believe. Believe popped off the page, and I looked at it and thought, I believe it's good, but it's like, it's too simple. It's too simple. It's too big. Who am I to do this big thing? And how often do we talk ourselves down from doing big things, right? It's not even the friends and the people around us to say we can't do it. It's us telling ourselves that we can't do it. Yeah. And so I tried to add more to it. And the next day I wrote more things on the list. And the more I looked at it, I just like believe just by itself, just on its own. And I started implementing it in small ways just in my business, and everything I touched around believe just started doing well. Not because believe is the magic word, it's that it was authentic to me. And the more that I brought that into what I was creating, the more people resonated with it. And then in terms of the book, that still wasn't, I never thought I would write a book around it. I wanted to find, have other people built a business around one word? Like, am I the only crazy person here in the world who thinks building a business around your core value is important. Somebody has done this. And so I started researching different entrepreneurs who had, and everywhere from a person who made $50,000 a year from his business, one word, to somebody who had a $500,000 business, a $1 million business, a $5 million business, and a $150 million business. And all of them built a business around their own one word, which was not believe, it's their own. And they all did it their own way. Like there was no blueprint. They were just figuring it out to say, okay, my one word is honest. How do I build a company around honesty? And they've kind of figured it out. And as I started talking to these different people, I realized there's no blueprint. You know, I'm learning a lot, and they're giving me a lot of the secrets too, from in addition to what I figured out on my own. I wish somebody had written the book. And anytime you get to that moment as an entrepreneur where you feel yourself saying like, I wish somebody did this, you know, like, why doesn't this exist? What the entrepreneurs do is instead of complaining, they solve the problem. So in talking to these successful entrepreneurs who had built businesses around their one word, I thought, why hasn't somebody written the book on this? Create the blueprint. And, you know, that triggered, okay, I have to do it. And so that's what ended up being, it's hidden. This is my new book that's coming out soon, but that's what ended up being your one word. And so it's great that it got out. It's inspired a lot of people. It's great to see how much of an impact it had on your business. And I hope it continues to reach other entrepreneurs too.
Yeah, fantastic, fantastic. I think there are a few golden nuggets that you just dropped in what you just said. It's about the values, having self-awareness, and building your business around that. I think that's so vital. It gave me a lot of clarity. Now, for people who are watching this, let me tell you, what is the depth of this book? Okay, I'm sure there are books, there are millions and millions of books which has been published in a year, but there are only few blockbuster books which are all-time greats. Like we're talking about Think and Grow Rich, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, right? 10X Rule. These are some of the big books. I mean, books which will actually, out of the blue, they actually bring so much value to your life that you want to really thank them. So this book is one of those legendary books. Why? Because that has something uniqueness to it. It is not rah-rah book which gives you a motivation and, you know, gets you pumped and gets you going. But this is actually the blueprint how you can build your business with one word. Like how you had Think and Grow Rich, it had a blueprint of how you can change your mind, how you can think and tune your mind to grow rich. You had Rich Dad, Poor Dad. It had a message which you need to change your thought process, how you can be a poor person, go to a rich person, right? These are some of the books. 10X Rule, again, I'm sure you also read that book. Again, a great book which gives you an actual formula how you can actually implement this in your real life. This is the one of the rare book which gives you a blueprint on how you can find your real you and identify that one word which means a lot to you, and it gives you an amplification to your business and so much clarity to your thoughts that you become unstoppable truly. Now, Evan, I would like to share my story, how this book impacted my life. When I got this book, I started reading, and this book really helped me to do a soul searching as to what do I stand for, like the word that you found, belief. I figured out there are so many words around what I stand for and what that word means to me. Like there are people who are building the business, like you said, around word like extraordinary, honest, belief. Honest company, who doesn't know it, right? Multi-billion-dollar business, Jessica Alba and other, and her husband. So for me, I wrote down all my words. What do I stand for? I want to give back. Okay, so one word was give, another word was help, and then everything became clear when I wrote the word care. And that word care means so much to me. Is like, from a childhood, I've seen my dad caring for his relatives, his friends, his family. When he did not even have money, he would give that money away to them without even thinking what he's going to do, right? That's the word which really resonated well with me because of my dad. And ever since I built my CareNation, again, this is the branding thanks to you, I built my CareNation based on the word care. Ever since then, my YouTube channel 3 months back, probably it was doing 500 or 600 people subscriber. Now it's grown 4 times. It's going to be almost 2,000 subscribers. The
Nice.
Yeah, and the base which I've built, I built a community of CareNation, which is in WhatsApp group, which has gone from 50 people to it's gone to probably about 1,000 people who receive my daily tips on regular basis, like what you do. I saw that Gary Vaynerchuk, one of the legend again, he also gave a great comment and gave great feedback about your book as well. So to me, that word meant a lot and gave me a good clarity and gave me a good speed because of that word care. So, a big thank you to you, Evan.
I'm glad it's had an impact, and it's so great to see entrepreneurs really being able to take it and get results from it. I mean, I saw it happen in my business, and so I wanted to share it. Whenever you find things that work, I love helping entrepreneurs, and when I find something that works, I want to share it. And it was great to see it work for me. And I think, you mentioned that there's a lot of practical advice. Entrepreneurs are busy, right? Like, we're busy. We're working all hours of the day trying to get our companies off the ground. And so what I wanted to make sure was you're going to get value. And anything that I make, I want you to get value. Like, that time you spent watching my video or reading my book was a worthwhile investment, right? That it's going to help you make some kind of shift in your business or your life. And so the book is really designed around that, where the first section is core, which is how do you find out what you stand for? And then from there, a lot of people want to apply to their life and other areas beyond just business. But the next section is campaign, because I want you to start making money from this idea. I want you to start to build a movement around this idea, right? Entrepreneurs, if you can talk to them about how to generate more revenue, right? Like, I want that time invested to yield results for you. And then the third section is company. That's when we're talking about hiring and building a team and firing people and making tough choices and operations and all the things that go with building a business. But I want you making money first. And so everything in the book is designed with practicality in mind, that I respect your time, and every page is hopefully leaving you with a message that is, one, easy to digest. It's not written in a way that you have to look up every word and try to, figure out what it means. It's easy to read, and hopefully also impactful, that you can take those lessons and then actually do something in your business. Because I don't want you just to read a book and then feel great. Like, no, you got to take some kind of action, like what you did, the rebranding, the new focus, and then if you do it, to actually see some hyper growth in your company.
Yeah, absolutely. I completely resonate, with what you're just saying. And I also, again, I like to mention that I also started doing a lot of seminars, a lot of events, a lot of webcasts I started doing, and I started reaching out to more people because everybody wanted to connect with me because of the word care, and because that we all about giving back to the world. So same thing that you're doing with your videos and your book. It's amazing. It's amazing. Now, why don't you just share how anybody can go about finding their one word, and what is the exercise that you suggest that they should do to find their one word?
So there's a few that we go into detail in the book, but if I had to give kind of like a high level summary, some of the more important ones are, one, remember that this is something that you've always been and always will be. So why is care so important to you? Well, it came from your dad. Like, this was imprinted on you from a young age. It's not like, 2017 is my year of care. No, it's like, this is who you've always been, even though you didn't know it because you didn't have the awareness earlier. And you're always going to care. Like, if anything, it only gets stronger. So you, when you're 75 years old, you're still going to care. And if anything, you're just going to care more. And so it's finding that as a starting point, that this is something that is forever and not just a New Year's resolution. Two, you can find it by looking at the things that make you happiest. So what are the things that have made you come alive in the past? What were the moments? What's your favorite book? Who was your favorite teacher growing up? What did you love about your parents? Like, what was the biggest lessons you learned? And if you start asking yourself, okay, who is my favorite teacher and why did I like them? And what is my favorite book and why did I like that book? And what's my favorite song and why do I like that song? And next to each of those favorite things that you have, write down 3 or 4 words that just explain why you like that. Because we might have the same favorite movie, but why I like it may be different than why you like it. So just write down 3 words of why you like that. And what you'll start to see is there's a common pattern. So I really love my father because he cared for people. And I really like watching that movie because there was a message of care somewhere in there. And so you'll start to see this connective tissue that is the theme across everything that has made you happy in the past. And what I want you to be able to do is then you take that becomes your one word, and now we can bring more of that into our life on purpose. Instead of randomly coming across something or accidentally stumbling upon something, we can bring more of that with intention into our lives and have a lot more happy moments. Some people have a hard time on the positive side. Some people have an easier time going negative. You think about what you hate, and then you do the opposite. So instead of thinking about what you love about, your favorite teacher, think about your worst teacher. What did you hate about them? Like, what was the thing that just drove you up the wall? And it's not that they're a bad person or a bad teacher or, a terrible human being. They just had something about them that you hated. And so the people who are toxic to you, whether they're family members or former classmates or coworkers, or there's just some people who you don't want in your life. What is it about those people? And then find the common theme between all those people. And that's what I call your anti-word. That's what you just can't stand being around. And then the opposite will be your one word. And when you find that, it just gives you a lot more clarity to make all the important decisions in your life, in business, and also in life.
No, that's amazing. That's really, really amazing. What are the challenges that you've seen when it comes to people struggling to find out what is it that they stand for? Look, I've got a lot of queries from people who are connected with me, thousands of them on different social media platforms. They say that, Dave, I want to start something down. I don't know what is it that I really need to get my motivation going. What is it that people who are lacking the clarity on their life that they should be doing immediately?
So a couple things. I think first, it always starts with self-awareness. It always starts with figuring out what you stand for. So you finding that care is your one word gives you a lot more clarity to move forward and make important decisions. What you still then need to figure out is, okay, what are you going to apply care to? Because you can care for lots of different things. You can obviously care for your family and your parents and everybody around you. But if you're going to be an entrepreneur, how do you apply care? Are you going to be a YouTuber? Are you going to be a salsa dancer? Are you going to be a professional gamer? Like, you can apply care everywhere. So what is your passion? You have to combine your values with your passion. And I don't believe people are lazy. I don't believe people wake up and are just lazy all day long. I think they just don't have goals that inspire them. And I think what you need to do is, one, find work. Like, once you've identified what you stand for, then find the thing that you love doing, whether that's making videos or dancing or whatever it is. Find the thing that you're most passionate about, because when you're doing work that you love, you're much more likely to have the energy to do it. You don't feel lazy doing the work you love. Every lazy person has had moments where they felt excited about the thing that they're doing. So what is that thing? Maybe we should be doing that more. And then the other part to it is just making sure you're doing meaningful work, doing work that is touching people, that is having an impact. It's easy to be lazy if you feel like your work doesn't matter. If you feel like you're just going to go to the office and do work and nobody's going to care about it, why would you go to the office? Like, you're going to hate going to the office. You're going to drag your feet. I would be lazy. If I had some crappy job where I knew that I didn't like it and I was having no impact, how am I going to be motivated to go out and crush that job, right? And so, especially as entrepreneurs, we get to control the work that we're doing. We get to control the types of jobs that we take on and say yes to, and the industry we want to be in. And so pick the one that you have passion for. Like, it starts with the self-awareness. Find your one word. That's what you stand for. Then pick your passion and pick work that is meaningful to you. If you do that, then you won't be lazy. You'll be hustling and grinding. You're like, where did this energy come from? Wow, all of a sudden I have all this energy to go do all these amazing things. It's not that you're lazy. It's just that you have goals that don't inspire you.
Yeah, beautifully said. And I can completely relate to it. And I'll tell you why. Because ever since I put the goal, which was to inspire and empower 10 million people, there is a different energy altogether. All the things that you said, everything, the energy, the motivation, the drive started coming to me naturally. And I started getting people, to ask me that, hey, Dave, what do you do? How are you active always on the social media? How are you responding to WhatsApp? You're posting videos, you're doing, codes, you're doing seminars, you're helping people. How are you doing that? So I think that is something which is so vital for a lot of people, that they are yet not aware who they really are. What is their DNA? I think, you also talk about the same thing. I think all the greatest great people talk about the same thing. I think Gary we also talk about self-awareness as in a big way, that a lot of people lack that thing as to, hey, I don't know, what's my purpose, what's my DNA, what is it that fulfills me, what makes me happy, what am I really passionate about. And I think 90% of people, they just get carried away with the bling bling things, and shiny object syndrome, and they don't even really realize that they're not chasing money. They should be chasing the passion, they should be chasing the goal, they should be chasing their dreams, and that's the way to do it.
I agree. And if you look at the people that we've profiled, on my channel, we've probably done the most profiles of any YouTube channel for sure. It's a consistent theme. You got to chase a thing that you love doing. Like the people who have the most success in the world at what they're doing have the self-awareness, and they put in the hard work because they are doing something they're passionate about. If you're not, like whatever you want to chase is going to require just an insane amount of hard work. And the only way you're willing to put in that hard work is if you love what you're doing, where the work doesn't feel like work. Yeah. If you were to step in, if like one of your viewers were to step into my schedule, they would say, that's crazy, I can't do that much work. Well, it's not work for me. Like I love doing that work. That's joy for me. I love doing this kind of stuff. And so you just need to find the same thing for you, for people watching. Like what's the work that you love doing that other people would find just insanely boring or challenging or just too difficult, that they would never want to touch it. And then if you dedicate yourself to that, you'll have success.
Fantastic, fantastic. So I think we are already almost about the mark of your busy schedule, half an hour, but who is this book for? Who should be grabbing this book for sure?
So it was designed initially mostly for entrepreneurs, for people who want to build a business, because it guides you through the process of finding your one word, building a marketing campaign around it, and then building a company around it. I've been shocked at how many people outside of the entrepreneurship world have picked it up. People just in the business world who have jobs and want to make their companies better, and they're using it for leadership, or they're using it for marketing, they're using it for branding. I was in Paris earlier this year talking to a human resources group to help them, like at a conference for HR. How do we apply this to our companies? And like I never thought about it as an HR tool, but it is. It's a really good HR tool. The first part is just about core. And so finding your one word, I think, is applicable to every human being. When I gave out, I printed 30 copies in my first run just as a test demo to see feedback from people. Half the people I gave it to were not entrepreneurs, and they loved the book, especially that first section. I think just having the self-awareness, it's one of the most important exercises you could ever do in your life. Like if you don't know what you stand for, you're going to be constantly living up to what other people want for you instead of what you want for yourself. You don't know when to say no because you're trying to please other people. Just learning that lesson is one of the most important lessons you will ever learn in your life, period. So I think from that perspective, it's helpful for everybody. I don't give you the tools on how to apply this to your relationship, how to apply this to your daughter, how to apply this in a lot of different personal settings. I give you the tools after that to then build a business around it. But that first exercise is applicable to everybody.
And I completely am a big advocate of this book. So guys, if you're watching this, do pick up this book, and I'm going to leave all the details of Evan's, how you can pick up this book, how you can reach Evan Carmichael. And if you're not subscribed to his channel, trust me, you're missing out a lot in life because I know Evan puts thousands and thousands of hours researching, consuming the right content, and you structuring everything, giving a right theme, bringing all the big personalities, super successful people, and giving it in a very compact, in a right manner. So guys, if you're not subscribed to Evan's channel, highly recommend it. Pick up this book as well. Now I got one question from Sagar Lad. And Sagar says, I have a question. What will be your advice to a guy 25 years old? Okay, so he's saying that he's 25. What would be your advice for a 25-year-old doing a job, having a dream to become a successful entrepreneur, but just not having an idea how to start?
So one, you got to figure out, do you have a business idea? It's like, do you know what the company is that you want to start, or is it just, I don't know how to start? This separating that out. Like, you can have an idea to be a YouTuber, but you don't know how to be a YouTuber. Or is it that you don't know what you want to do at all? You don't have a business idea, period. If you don't know what you want to do, then you need to explore. You're not going to figure it out by sitting on the couch. You say yes to everything. Say yes, say yes, say yes, say yes. It's like, how do I figure out what my favorite food is? Well, you're not going to figure out your favorite food by sitting on the couch. You figure out your favorite food by trying a whole bunch of different food until you find the things like, man, that sushi is awesome, right? So you got to go out and try a whole bunch of things until you find the thing that you fall in love with and that you want to do again and again and again. If you know what you want to do, you found that thing, then I'm a fan of having a job and doing your thing part-time. Just make sure the job is teaching you what you want to do. So if you want to be in the shoe business, go work for a shoe company. Don't work at McDonald's. Like, you're not going to learn anything at McDonald's, maybe a little bit that will help you in your shoe business. Go work for a shoe company. And ideally, I try to find a company that is 10 employees or less, not a pure startup where it's just you and the founder, because they can't teach you much, but somebody who's done what you want to do, somebody who has 10 employees and it's small enough so that you can take on a lot of responsibility. If you go work at Nike, you're going to have some crappy job photocopying things and getting people coffee. If you work at a smaller company, you'll get a chance to get your hands in a lot of different pies. And that's your goal. You want to get paid, but you want to learn. And you want to say yes to every opportunity that comes down. Get as close to the founder as possible. Take on as many projects as possible. Even if you're not getting paid for like the overtime stuff, you're getting an education. Like, instead of you paying to go to college to learn about this, you're getting first world experience on how to do it. And on the side, you're doing your own project. You're trying to get your business off the ground. You're learning. And so if you're not learning at your job, you shouldn't be at that job. You should be somewhere else where you are learning something that will help you become a great entrepreneur. That's my advice.
That's a golden advice. Something that I have started doing a long back. I'm also working for the company that I'm really passionate about. At the same time, I'm using that experience and giving back to the world, giving back to the community, doing a lot of sales related workshops and seminars. I did one recently. It was a paid seminar, really good. And I'm also working in one of the company as a sales director. So managing a team, doing sales, meeting clients, and using the knowledge to share with the world. So I can completely relate. Beautiful, beautiful suggestion. One question from my side: what would Evan be doing if he is not doing YouTube, writing, or speaking? What would Evan be doing?
I'm not attached to any of those things. I'm not attached to YouTube or writing or speaking. What I'm attached to is helping 1 billion entrepreneurs. So I'd be looking at, what could I do that has the biggest impact that allows me to help my mission move forward? And so I don't know what that would be. If you take those things away, be looking at what else could have a big impact that allows me to hit my reach, whether it's, working with individuals that then they can go out and do this and they're helping spread the message, whether it's doing other social networks instead of YouTube. It's important to understand that the tactics will change with time. YouTube will not be as important in 10 years. Something else is going to come along. So when you have a window, you got to jump through it as fast as you can, as hard as you can. Like, this is a great time for me right now. Everything is aligning right now really well for me on YouTube. And so that's why I make 3 videos a day. I need to push as hard as I can while I have this window open, because a time of uncertainty is going to be coming in the future. When YouTube's relevance starts to decline, what's the thing that's going to be taking over that attention? That's going to be the relevant thing. And then I need to start over there, and I'll have to figure it out. And I won't be hitting it hard at the beginning. And so, if I'm not doing YouTube, I'm going to be off doing something else that will have a big impact. I want to wake up every day and feel like I'm having an impact. And so whatever the best way to do that, right now it's YouTube and speaking and writing books. But in 5 or 10 years, it's going to switch to something else. And that's what I'm going to be doing instead of being locked in on one platform.
Okay. For sure, you're leaving a huge impact, at least on my life, CareNation, and other million people who are following you on YouTube. So thanks for doing what you're doing. Just one last question, if you have a few more minutes.
Yep.
Great. So actually, he's good. There are 2, but I think one you already answered in your video. So,
let's do one, because I'm already over. But let's do one more.
So Nikhil Swarna asked that, what are the top 3 rules to bootstrap your business with low investment, and how to grow your business organically without investors' funding?
So the most important thing is your mindset. Everybody who's had success, you look at the people you look up to, look at the people who are on your dream list, look at the people on your wall, the people who you love watching their videos. They started with less than what you already have right now. It's never about the resources. It's about how resourceful you are. It's about what you do with what you have. Right? There's a great quote by Wozniak. It's not about thinking about the resources you don't have. It's about what you do with what you do have. As long as you're living in that world of like, I can't do this because I don't have money, you're never going to win. You're never going to win. It's always thinking, okay, I would love more resources than what I have right now too. Everybody could always use more resources, right? If you gave me an extra $10 million, listen, I can find ways to spend that. I could build this up even faster. It's not about getting more money. It's about being more resourceful. It's what you do with what you have. Then if looking about, so mindset, first thing. Second, I'd be looking at making alliances. I'd be looking at how can I find somebody who's already working with my target audience and find a way to work together. It's the fastest way to be able to grow a business. So, you know, if you're a real estate agent, you're trying to build your business, it's super commoditized industry. Where are home buyers connecting? Who are they talking to before they talk to a real estate agent? Before they really sell a house, who are they talking to? Go make partnerships with those people. And that way, instead of trying to sell people one at a time, you're selling one person on how good you are, and then that person is helping spread your message to 10, 100,000, hundreds of thousands of people, depending on the industry. So I'd be looking at making those kind of partnerships. And then, especially in the world of social, be looking at consistent content. Like whatever you're doing, you got to do it more. If you want to be paid to be a speaker, you need to do a lot more speaking. You know, you got to be speaking every day. You need to practice. You take free gigs. Like from the free gigs, you get more free gigs. And from those free gigs, you get your first paid gig. And then from that paid gig, you get more paid gigs. Like whatever it is that you want to do, you're not doing it enough. You know, I had this woman write in who wanted me to check out her son's band. And they're great. Like she has two sons in his band and they sing amazingly well. And it's an awesome band. Just talent alone is not enough. They're making one video every 2 months on their YouTube channel. Like it's not enough content. It doesn't have to be overly produced. You don't need to have professional videographers. If you're a singer, you got to sing. You got to take as many gigs as possible. You got to make a weekly video for your social and your YouTube channel. You just got to do your thing more. One, because the quantity leads to the quality. The more you do it, the better at it you're going to get. And two, just for the awareness, for people to get to hear you. You know, if you want to really build up CareNation, like it's content. You need to have content daily that's going out once a month. You're going to get lost in the stream. It's not enough. You won't get good enough at it. Like every interview you do gets better because you have more practice doing it. And it's also spreading the message more. Now, like on this interview, 3 more people maybe noticed you than yesterday or the last interview, right? And those 3 people become 5, become 10, become 20, right?
Yeah.
Consistency. Most people just they're not consistent enough. They try it for 2 months and then they give up and they wonder why they didn't have success. Like it's years. Consistency over years will get you there.
Fantastic. Fantastic advice. Thank you so much, Evan. I will not hold you back. I know you've given me enough time. Really, really blessed. And thank you so much again for the amazing book and your precious time. We love you and we'll keep following you.
Thanks for the love, Dev and CareNation. We'll see you soon.
All right. Take care. Bye-bye. All right, guys, for people who are watching, thank you so much. Beautiful questions. So Ankush Dubey, the 3 books that he has recommended for the entrepreneurs, is there in the video. Just look up his video, 3 books for an entrepreneur. One of the book I remember was The Blue Ocean, I believe. And there are a couple of more, right? So yeah, great question, guys. Thank you so much. Do me a favor, do share this video, and I'm going to leave a link which you can use to order his book or an audio book in the description below. So do watch out for that link, and it may be it will be an affiliate link, so it helps me also to raise some money for CareNation. So if you want to check out the book, you want to buy the book, I'm going to leave the link in description. Thank you so much for watching, and keep spreading a lot of love, keep spreading a lot of care. This is your friend Dev Gadhvi, committed to serving 10 million people, and you are part of the CareNation. So let's spread more love and let's spread CareNation around the world. Okay. Thank you so much. Love you guys. Stay fantastic.